Well, with a Halloween episode shown, time to get into Christmas. So the episode begins with Sportsmaster interrupting a bowling tournament, claiming bowling isn't a real sport.
A real athlete deserves this prize money. Oh, but don't worry, I'm not gonna steal it. I'm gonna win it.
He's of course played by Thomas F. Wilson. Those of you who are fans of 80s movies would recognize his voice as Biff Tannen from Back to the Future.
That's not the guy from Back to the Future. Yes, it is.
It's me, buttheads.
You may also remember him as the Tattletale Strangler. Amusingly enough, for those of you who are fans of Young Justice, a version of Sportsmaster's daughter, Artemis, also exists in this universe. So, Batman comes in with Jaime Reyes' Blue Beetle to put a stop to Sportsmaster's bowl over the competition. Whilst Jaime engages with his athlete minions, Bruce will go after Sportsmaster and, hey, no cleats on the lane, it damages the wood, you butthead. While Beetle sacks the minions, Batman strikes Sportsmaster out, and Jaime asks if Batman wants to have Christmas Eve dinner with his family, but El Paso's a little out of the way for Bruce.
Sorry, crime doesn't take a holiday. And neither do I.
One theme tune later, main story begins with the robotic hero Red Tornado in his civilian Professor O'Foon disguise, teaching archaeology class. And if you find that name silly, his creator's name is Tio Moro. It's around Christmas if you hadn't already guessed, and while trying to communicate to one of his students that archaeology isn't like Indiana Jones, he hears and then sees a truck in the middle of skidding on the road about to hit some kids. Taking his human face off, Red swirls into action.
Observation. Your children need another discussion about traffic safety, Mr. Jones.
Red is a little taken aback, though, when the kid's father cites his heroics as filling them with the Christmas spirit. And like a cold hard robot that's also part alien hurricane, depending on who you ask, Red aways himself to understand the Christmas spirit. And because he can't ask the first Red Tornado Ma Hunkle because she's too busy with Maxine, he tries a book by Stuart Martha. Anyway, after reading the thing, Red decks his halls, not to mention outside his house, for Christmas. Now for the final step in his master equation.
Jingle bells.
He also tries watching some kind of a version of It's a Wonderful Life, but before not James Stewart, I want to go with Jimmy Stetson, can tell him the meaning of Christmas. The local news interrupts to report there are a bunch of flying saucers from Neptune wreaking havoc downtown. Batman already on the scene to introduce the aliens to an unidentified foot in the ass.
Not exactly how I was expecting to spend my Christmas Eve.
Tornado enters the fray, and whilst resuming the fight, Red points out that Neptune is uninhabited, presumably because its atmosphere is primarily helium and hydrogen. Working an angle, Bruce gets Red to look up Christmas movies with an alien invasion in it.
One reference. Holiday for Neptunians. The alien transmission was taken from the film.
The fact that it was in black and white was also a clue. After destroying them, Bruce checks the rubble to discover the ships are made of plastic and stamped with a toy company logo, knowing exactly the kind of egocentric villain to put his logo on his own creations. Funhouse.
I was just playing around with my new toys, Batman. Is that so wrong?
Interestingly enough, Funhouse was invented for the show, but he's based on the Jack Nimble version of the villain Toyman. Another version, Winslow Scoot, is this universe's Toyman. Furthermore, you can also see Funhouse is holding an inanimate version of Batman the Animated Series villain Baby Doll, tossing it at our heroes while he makes his getaway. After propelling the bomb into the sky, and Red Tornado explains that he's trying to understand Christmas, Bruce asks why Red cares so much. This implies there may be a bit more to Bruce turning Jaime down for Christmas dinner in the Stinger. Namely, he doesn't seem to like Christmas all that much.
It's overrated.
This feeling will be explained throughout the episode, starting right now, when Red gives him a gift, causing Bruce to have a flashback to Christmas as a child. And you can tell because it's in black and white. The flashback ends before we see what he got. And to Bruce's credit, he's not unhappy about the gift, though he admits he doesn't have anything for Red. Which is fine by him, though. He is, of course, only doing this to figure out what the Christmas spirit is exactly, having concluded that he'll know when he has the spirit when he starts feeling a tingle.
When you start tingling, I'd see a repairman.
After heading downtown, the duo spot a Santa running through the streets. Trying to stop him, they figure out it's some kind of a robot. A Sand Terminator, if you will. Oh, and there's a lot more of them. During the fight, one who was stationed on a sleigh in the middle of town spooks the real reindeer had attached, taking 2 kids with it, necessitating Bruce to save them, and then Red to save them and Bruce from a giant spike-filled chasm somewhere out of town. In the aftermath, the heroes see a kid crying about not being able to get the newest action figure, the Presto Play Pal. This caused another flashback to reveal that the gift Bruce got was an old nutcracker, an heirloom passed down from father to son. But it wasn't what he wanted for Christmas. I'm actually going to skip ahead a little bit for the sake of closing this flashback loop. To try and make it up to him, the Waynes take Bruce to see the Mark of Zorro. So, after the show, they take a shortcut through an alley. Yeah, you understand what just happened correctly. the reason Christmas bums this version of Bruce out so badly is that if he wasn't acting like a dumb kid, his parents would have never been murdered.
Sometimes what you wish for most is the one thing you can never have.
That being said, in a later episode, it's revealed that Thomas and Martha Wayne's death wasn't so much a random act of violence, but a deliberate hit on Thomas orchestrated by crime boss Louis Moxon, due to Thomas stopping a robbery with a time-displaced Bruce. It was a whole thing in the episode, and while we're talking about it, in that episode, Thomas and Martha Wayne are voiced by Adam West and Julie Newmar. Yeah, they're voiced by 60s Batman and Catwoman.
Oh, my, you're friendly, aren't you?
Said hit spiraled into taking Martha with him due to the culprit Joe Chill, the godless little worm, getting antsy, leaving Bruce an orphan. That episode is also one of the few times Bruce ever takes his mask off on the show, also one of the few times he considers killing a guy. But returning to the current episode, Funhouse appears on a screen inside one of the robot Santas to declare that he's placed a bomb somewhere in the city and they have to go find it. Scouring the city from top to bottom, the duo can't find it, causing Red Tornado to posit an alternate explanation. Funhouse never had a bomb. He just needed to keep them distracted.
Then what has he been trying to distract us from?
After Bruce's third flashback, the one we already talked about, it gets Bruce's brain going, and he realizes after noticing that the Presto Play Pal has Funhouse's logo on it. Ergo, all of Funhouse's antics tonight were a distraction from his real plan. So, on Christmas Day, it's revealed that the Play Pals are programmed to activate on their own and start robbing every house that has one.
Oh, it's the most wonderful time of the year.
You'll be doing hard time by New Year's.
Oh, and I guess Merge to make a giant robot suit that Funhouse can pilot to squish and/or laser beam whoever tries to stop him. Going even further beyond his normal capabilities, Red Tornado blows the overgrown action figure to bits and causes Funhouse to fly right out.
I am feeling a strange tingling sensation.
Following that, Funhouse is arrested, and Red Tornado is taken to Star Labs for repairs.
Merry Christmas.
Getting back into the Batmobile, Alfred has left a little present for Bruce, the now repaired Nutcracker.
Merry Christmas to you too, Alfred.